This week's team challenge is to do a card using ripping or tearing, and I said they could either use the fake version or the real thing, which is what I'm doing. So I rip towards myself and I sort of go in a zigzag to give it some waves. And what I've done, I've started off with a white base and I've done a card front of the guava and then the purely pomegranate over the top of that, and then this will be stuck on that. The next step we're going to do is using the Stampin' Around wheel. We don't call it roller graph anymore, it's called Stampin' Around, and that clips into the handle. So you only need one handle and then you can have as many different patterns as you like. And I'm going to be inking this on an ink pad because I want to use the Blue Bayou, which doesn't have a cartridge. So with our ink pads, you've got a strip there, you just push, flip and clip it into place, and that way you don't need to store your pads upside down anymore, which is fantastic. And so what I'm doing, I'm putting my finger in the middle of the roller handle, roll on the pad, and I'm using the guide on the card, and I just hold it along the guide and roll it along. Okay, now if you've ever wished that your smaller wheels could be bigger, it's very, very simple to do that. And I'm just lining the guide on the card again, ink the roller again, and then line it up and roll next to where I rolled. And then what we do is we trim that down, and then I'm going to stick a piece of ribbon along the center. The next step I'm going to do is to color parts of this image, and I'm using a blender pen, and with your ink pad you'll find that ink collects in this part of the pad, and if there's not enough ink you can actually squeeze the lid of the pad together with the base, and that will push some ink onto the base, and then you get a bit of a watercolor effect, and you just keep going. If you need more color, you just pick up more color, and I'm just going to keep doing that until I'm happy with how much I've colored. I've colored the whole strip, and I've also stamped the word cherish. I did that off camera because I thought my hand would shake too much and I would stuff it up anyway, and I didn't. So I'm punching out again. Turn your image over so you can see it, and then I'm sticking that onto a blue square, and this is the Blue Bayou from the End Colors. Okay, so I'll just pop that on there, and then this square is going to be put onto a bigger pomegranate square, and then that will be layered onto the card. And this is the wonderful way that the punches work together. You just punch, punch, and you've got your mounts, and it's so handy. And then that just goes on there like that, and there's your card. And this is another card I've done in exactly the same design, and with this one I've used the Blue Bayou, and I've used the browns and a white gel pen to highlight various areas. This is so swirly, and don't forget to email me for your freewheeling brochure, because if you buy a stamp set you'll get the matching wheel for free, and there's 6 to choose from and they're all beautiful.